click stream down. Let's just make sure everything's working real quick, and then we'll get back to the conversation about some of Dojo's best experiences in Brawl. All right. Looks like everything should be back up and running. We are good to go. Dojo, you're talking about some of your favorite majors and events you went to in Brawl?
Yeah, so like I said, there was Clash of the Titans, and then like my favorite had to be like the first Genesis. Um, Probably about like 25 Texans for that, maybe a little bit more. Uh, like I said, that was the birth of the Mango Armada rivalry. That was really insane to watch. Like nobody had heard of Armada or thought Peach was like a viable character in Melee up until this point. This kid just came out and wrecked everybody. It was like Mango was obviously the favorite to win. And so we got to see that first set where Mango went Falco, and they had that really insane Game 5 set. And we were seeing Armada do all this crazy stuff, and then Mango came back out with the puff that he hadn't played in like a year, and just, I mean, had the biggest clutch moment ever. Like everybody was screaming, like he had that Mango moment where everybody's chanting Mango, and he has that it was
the Rory.
Yeah, with the rest.
rest.
I mean, the entire
oh my gosh.
like we went crazy. People were jumping off chairs and tables, and it was wild back then, man. Like people were like, I feel like with esports now, everything's like, yeah, everybody's like very like hype and stuff, but like everything's organized. You know, everybody, there's a viewing area and stuff. Man, this whole venue was just filled with people. The chairs were everywhere. People were literally standing on tables, and it was crazy. As far as my tournament like bracket went, I got fourth at that one. So that was the first time I played Larry. And this, I mean, when I say he destroyed me, that was an understatement. He 3-stocked me the first game like so fast. Like I tried to get defensive really fast because the first stock was just like complete destruction. And I was like, oh god, I got to figure out how to. So like I started like platform camping. He went up on the platform and like comboed me to like 80 as Falco. I was like, what's happening to me right now?
What's going on?
Yeah. So I had to make like a really big losers run. I went through like half of like the SoCal PR. Then I had to play Larry again.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was like a second talking point about the MK ban discussion, was this set between me and Larry. So I platform camped him on Smashville. So I didn't do like the Scrooging. This was before Scrooging was a thing, so I didn't even know about it. Obviously planking, there's like a 25 ledge grab limit.
Yeah.
I get destroyed again on the first game. Game 2, I get super lucky, and he SDs as soon as the match starts. Like he just side Bs off. I was like, what?
Oh.
Still brings it down to last hit, and I get like a lucky down smash, and he dies. I was like, oh my gosh. And by now the crowd is already formed around us. This was like a top 5 match. And I had a friend who was here in West Texas. He played Lucas. I was like, dude, if you're gonna play these low tiers, I was like, you're gonna have to learn to camp, and like, yeah, you got to do whatever it takes to win if you want to move forward in bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes up and he like stress rubs my back real fast. He's like, do what you told me. He's like, whatever it takes to win, right? And so the match starts, and we're going back and forth, and I managed to get the first stock, and then I just platform camp him like super hard, and he doesn't really ever come up. And I timed him out. We both still had 2 stocks, so like it was that slow and lame.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became like a big discussion. Like everybody from SoCal got pissed. They called the TO over. They were talking about banning me, DQing me, all this and that. And on Smashboards, there used to be it was basically like a council of like all the top players and TOs and just figureheads for the community. It was the back room.
Yeah.
So they actually had a full-on discussion and took a vote on whether I was going to get DQ'd. It held back the tournament for 2.5 hours while they were talking about it.
Really? That's crazy.
We got lucky that one of our guys from San Antonio, Nike, I don't know if y'all know Nike. He would do like a lot of recording. Like he would record a lot of sets. It's actually on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
He recorded that set, the whole thing. And so they watched it off his camera. And so you had like 25 like backroom members vote on it. I won the vote like 23-2. The only 2 people that voted against it was a couple of salty SoCal people. Really funny. We had a good laugh about that. But yeah, it held the tournament back for like 2.5 hours. And grand finals was Music King versus Ally. It actually ended up being in our hotel room, like Texas's hotel room. We had like a big old suite.
Oh wow.
There was like 12 of us staying in there. That's actually where they held grand finals for freaking Genesis.
Because what, the venue closed?
Yeah, the venue closed. Like it didn't happen until like almost 1 in the morning, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it was very grassroots back then. Like I said, now with the esports,
Yeah.
it's so organized and
Mhm.
it's nice to see. Back then, it was just like it was like that. It was like ghetto almost. Like we were in a hotel
Yeah.
room playing grand finals at the biggest major at the time.
Do you think the changes in the development of the scene, do you think it's largely for the better? Are there things you miss? Are there
There's
things
definitely
you
things
don't
I miss. We were a lot more tight knit, I think, as far as the state. Like we were all really close. I mean, we definitely had like your cliques and stuff, but because we were all traveling so much, it's like, I mean, everybody hung out with everybody. And now I feel like obviously like the cities are more sectioned off, and even within like the bigger cities, DFW and Houston, I'm sure. I mean, you have all your crews and cliques all over the place.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the main thing. It's nice having the esports backing. Like back then, esports wasn't even like a term for us. Like it was just we're competitive Smash players.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see like all the structure that's been added and all the resources we have now. But yeah, I definitely miss like the weekend long Smash Fest where everybody's here and we're just like grinding out and we'd all go eat together. And I mean, we're all sleeping under the same roof. We'd wake up, everybody would shower, go to the tournament, head back, eat, and then grind out again for the rest of the night. And it was a lot different.
For sure. Let's get into MLG Dallas itself.
Go.
So, obviously, that's a huge event coming to Dallas. Talking to Santi and preparing this, how'd you convince Santi to come out of quote unquote retirement and team for this event? What was that conversation like?
Honestly, I can't even remember. I know he was gone, so like he had moved to San Antonio for college, and so like he practically he really did just quit like straight up because we were going, like I said, every week, every other week, and then he just like cold turkey just stopped playing for like a year. And I know he would go to like Smash Fest here and there just to hang out with some of the guys, but like he did not care. I honestly don't even remember the conversation. I'm sure it took some bribing because he's stubborn. But yeah, he came out and it was fun. We teamed a lot like in the like 08, 09 period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were like one of the top 2 Texas teams, and everyone said we were like one of the top teams in the nation. And honestly, a lot of it was him. He was godlike in teams. I felt like I would drag us down a lot of times. I was basically the rabid dog. I would just go in and just do as much damage as I could, and he was like the anchor. He would hold stocks. He would dish out damage, and then he would clutch it out. He was very clutch. But yeah, we got him out to that, and I figured we weren't gonna like place super high because he hadn't been playing.
Right.
And I don't remember our bracket going into it. I remember one specific set. We were playing against a couple of guys. It was like 2 of the top guys from Wichita Falls, Kansas. So we played a lot with the Kansas people. They would come down to Texas a lot, them in Oklahoma. And so we knew that it was going to be like fairly tough. I think they were playing Meta Knight Olimar?
Yeah.
No, it was Meta Knight Fox. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's game 3, like super, like we're like way far behind, and I end up dying. And they're both super low percent. Santi's like at 100, and he does this clutch thing. Like he gets the Meta Knight off stage, and like going off stage against Meta Knight as any other character, just like suicide practically.
Yeah.
Gets him off stage, spikes him as Toon Link, and it was like had he missed this, he just straight to the depths. Like Toon Link, the fast fall and just die. So he goes off stage, he like dares him into a dare, spikes him, and then follows him down there, like all the way to the bottom, because Meta Knight was obviously getting back. Follows him all the way down there and footstools him at the very bottom of the stage.
Oh, God.
Gets back on and then just like decimates the Fox player. Like basically 0 to death. So we're like, what? Like we're going insane. But he was always doing like really clutch stuff like that in teams.
When I was preparing for this episode, having the conversation with Santi about y'all teaming at MLG Dallas, he mentioned that he doesn't remember ever winning a 2v1 before that.
Oh, he's full of it, man.
Okay.
He's full of it. No, like he was always the clutch player. Like
That sounds like something. No, I don't remember that. And then
Yeah, that
he's
is
a dirty
like,
liar.
yeah,
He just says stuff, dude. He just says stuff.
yeah, he really does. But no,
Yeah, and
he was so clutch early on.
in Brawl, was Toon Link's down there like regular Link's down there? Because I like now he like sends himself, right? Like he just launches.
Yeah,
Was it like that in Brawl?
yeah. He just like
Okay.
fast falls down, and it would
Okay. I didn't remember if it was like that or
yeah, he
not.
would float if you bounced off their head.
Okay.
But
Okay, that makes
otherwise, it
sense.
was just like he would send himself down.
Okay, so that's different because like even in this game, like if you hit it, you're still going
You go all the
down.
way to the ground. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You would bounce off their head on.
Yeah,
on
it's
that
like
one.
Young Link. Young Link's down air, and
Okay,
Ultimate does
that makes
where
sense.
when you hit the
Yeah.
head, you bounce,
Mm-hmm.
and you get some like extra momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play Toon Link too. I just didn't remember if it was like that or not.
But yeah,
Honestly, I miss playing Brawl. What a good game. That game was awesome.
I I don't know about that.
Casually, it was awesome, dude. When you're 12,
When you're 12,
Smash
it's
is
the game.
awesome. It's the game, dude. That's
it's a
the game right
nostalgia
there.
game, man.
I don't know. I remember looking at it after watching Melee for a couple of years because I've been watching Melee since '08,
Yeah.
like on YouTube and stuff, and trying to follow the scene because I wrote for MLG.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching Brawl and just being like, "Man, this looks so slow," and I could never get into it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people's complaints, and it was like looking back on it, it's like, God, this really was that. It didn't feel like it when you were playing though, because you were just constantly thinking, and it was all just about positioning and just holding
Yeah.
advantage. And but yeah, looking back, it definitely was that slow.
How do you think the seeding was going into Dallas? Do you think it was fair? Do you think MLG did a good job? Do you think Texas was underrated?
Well, they seeded it. So the top, I think, what was it, 8 or 12 seeds? I think it was the top 8 because they did a top 16 championship. Yeah, so the top 8 seeds were all like based on qualifier points. So it was the circuit, right? It was a 5 tournament circuit, and so you had to go to those tournaments if you wanted to be seeded well for the the top players for the championship bracket. So the like top 8 guys just got in for free. They didn't even have to play like the initial bracket.
Right.
As far as like the entry bracket, it's like I don't remember too much about the seeding. I honestly don't even remember like the first like half of my bracket. It's been so long. So I don't even really remember like what that seeding was like. As far as like the top level seeding, it's like I felt like that was fair. It's like they were advertising it as like a circuit, and they wanted you to go to events. So obviously, it's like if you wanted to get into that top 8, it's like you had to go to several, and that's what they all did. Like all the top 8, they were at least at like 3 of the previous 4.
Right. It was interesting the way they did that too, because each season started and ended with Raleigh, North Carolina. Like that was the first stop, and then I don't remember the exact order. It was like Raleigh, Columbus, and then Dallas, or there might have been one in between there, but it was definitely a different approach, viewing everything as this long elongated series. It made, like, I think it did a good job for other titles, which again I'm gonna talk about because that's what I was experienced with, like StarCraft at the time. Like it did such a good job at establishing storylines going into the event. It allowed you to hype things up that maybe wouldn't have been hyped up otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you felt the same way about it with Smash, but
yeah, it definitely was. I mean, there's a lot of storylines. I mean, everybody thought like Mewtwo King was on fire. I think he won like 3 of the first 4.
Yeah, and then Columbus had that issue with him and ADHD.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into that? You'd probably be better at explaining that than.
So, I don't remember the exact story. I know one of them threw a set to the other. It was like in the top 3. And I think I don't know if they're trying to beat Ally or who it was that they were trying to beat, but one of them couldn't beat Ally. They hadn't beaten Ally in like the last 5 or 6 sets. And so they threw to the other to beat Ally, and then they split like the first and third placings, I guess. It was something like that. I can't remember it too clear, but they came out and said it like I think it was on Smashboards. Like one of them talked about it and like what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, like and it's like what? And so guys running MLG found out, and I mean, it was just like instant. Like they're like, all right, you're banned from the rest of the MLG series.
So the biggest thing, and this is a snippet from Kotaku. So apparently, I'm just going to read it directly from Kotaku. Mewtwo King, arguably the best Smash player in the world today, deliberately lost to friend and rival ADHD and was given $300 by ADHD to do so. So what they did was they split the pot, but they played the set. So they played the set out, finished the set, which ADHD won, but then ADHD split the pot with them. So
maybe it's for the seeding points.
That's why MLG was pissed. MLG was upset because of the way it affected the seeding points. That they felt like their side of the story is ADHD paid him 2K to throw the match.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just compromises competition.
Yeah, so, which is stupid.
Yeah, it is. And then to go and admit to it, like, just, like, openly.
It's even more,
like, yeah,
it's
it's
more
like,
dumb.
I was like, how dumb are y'all? So,
like, why?
So, yeah, that happened. They got banned. Mewtwo King actually still went to the event just to watch.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. I don't remember seeing him too much there, but yeah, I know he was there. Like, he tried to coach Tyrant in Grands versus Genus.
Nice.
And who was it? Zyro was like, you can't beat Diddy either. Why are you trying to coach it? Everybody started dying.
So with two of the top players in the world banned from the event, that left Ally, Tyrant, and who else would you say were big, like, fan favorites going into Dallas?
I think honestly, like, those were like two of the big ones. I was in that discussion at the time. Razor could have made a good run, but I think they banned. Okay, so that was the story with Razor. They banned nunchucks. So Razor was like, did the nunchuck Wiimote thing, and he was like one of the few players that played with that, and because of like the wireless interference, MLG banned all nunchucks, so Razor had to learn how to play with the GameCube controller.
I had no idea about that.
Wait, why did they ban the nunchuck?
Apparently there was like wireless interference with I can't remember, but
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean Wiimote and nunchuck, dude. That was my go-to.
Yeah, there was a couple of top players like that, but everybody was kind of dumbfounded. It's like, it was kind of crazy to watch them. You just sit there hunched over with arms crossed, and it was like, that was funny.
That's definitely interesting. I had no earthly idea.
Outside of that, maybe Larry. I think Larry had. I don't remember when Apex 2010 was, because I think that's the one Larry won. There was a few guys. I mean, it was like Ally had Anti-Gon. He probably would have been a favorite. Esam could have been in that running. Esam was doing really good that year. There's a few guys. Nobody expected Genus.
What did you think about the monitor situation? Because they had you guys playing on more or less computer monitors, right? Not CRTs?
Yeah, so there's like a frame or two of lag. I could feel it a little bit. Like, I played probably about an hour and a half of friendlies to get used to it, and it kind of went away. Like, I didn't feel it after that point. A lot of people complained about it. Personally, like, I didn't feel like that was like a factor.
Do you think it benefited Wi-Fi fiends that were used to playing with some delay?
I don't think so. I mean, outside of Ally, there wasn't really any of like the Wi-Fi warriors there, because like ADHD was one of them. Anti didn't go. I think Atomisk was a Wi-Fi warrior. And he was already in the championship bracket, so I think he got sick. But no, I really don't think that that affected anybody's placements.
Gotcha. How do you think the prize pool affected the mindset going into the event? Because that prize pool, it was the biggest prize pool for almost 5 years. Like, nobody won more money than GNS won at that event until Hungrybox won Battle of the Five Gods in 2015 or 16.
Yeah, so that prize pool, especially then, was unheard of. Like, it's like when they announced MLG, I mean, all the hype, just everything, everybody's attention went to that, obviously. It definitely had a lot of people shook. I remember, so we stayed at a local Dallas player's apartment, and he had like half of the top players there. So like Mike Hayes, Tyrant, Lee Martin, Mewtwo King, Ally, me, and a number of other guys all stayed in this one dude's apartment. So like, I mean, we were all like doing round robins and stuff or whatever. But I remember the car ride there on that final day. I had driven us to Dallas, but I had Santi drive. I was like, I need to like focus in, and we had taken with us Ally and Lee Martin. And it was the most quiet like 30-minute car ride ever. Like everybody was just like, you can tell like the atmosphere.
Meditating.
Yeah.
How much was the prize pool?
The total prize pool was 25,000. First
Oh
place
my
won
god.
12.5. I think Tyrant won like 7.5 for second. Third got top 8 was guaranteed, or 8th place was guaranteed $1,000.
Yeah, it was unheard of money at the time.
Yeah,
That's better than Evo now. What the hell?
Yeah, like I got like at that first Genesis, I got 4th, and then we got 3rd in teams, and I barely made $1,000. And so just like to get like 12 grand for a first place, I was like, what the hell? It's crazy. So I think it definitely had some mindsets like shook. And I think that you could see that like Ally got, I think 5th or place did Ally get? I know it affected him. I felt like it affected me. I definitely choked in my winners match. I had to play X, a Sonic player, and I had Sonic experience with SB.
Yeah.
And they placed the exact same, so they were similar levels, but I definitely felt like I choked that one out. Ally got 4th, that's what it was, but he still ended up doing well.
I mean, like, it's understandable, like you said, that prize pool is just unheard of. Like, even today, like, I mean, obviously with, like, actually, I don't even know how much majors are giving out, like, it's now, but
not that big.
It's still, yeah, it's still not that crazy. Like even at Evo, like the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, like top 8 with like 3,000 plus people, whatever, is like $800. I don't know. Like that's crazy. Like if you're getting 7.
Yeah.
Like I feel like at this point, for like Smash at least, like Evo, it's not about like the money or anything. It's just like, oh man, I want an Evo. That's it. That's all it counts for.
Yeah, it's the notoriety behind Evo, I think.
Mm-hmm.
No, MLG Sundance, who is the owner of that company, he did a phenomenal job about getting VC money into esports. So MLG had VC funding back in 2009. So 2009, they had venture capitalists that were giving them money to help run these events. So they were able to do things like the prize pool, etc., and do all kinds of stuff that at the time was completely unheard of. Like even nowadays, like you were saying, it's unheard of in fighting games. Some of the like big, more mainstream esports are making ridiculous money now, but
League,
Counter Strike, Fortnite,
yeah.
But
Fortnite is crazy.
How much did Idon take home for winning Capcom Cup?
You look that up.
I have no idea.
Oh, his total winnings from the tour is $126,250.
Wow.
That's in Street Fighter. That's insane amounts of money in there. He won 120 grand for winning the Capcom Cup.
And that's what you get when you're, the developers of your game like back to tournaments.
Yeah.
Spend crazy money to make it successful.
Yeah. Because in turn, that makes your game more successful. Isn't that crazy, Nintendo? Are you listening? Please.
Is Nintendo watching
Please.
the Gaming podcast? We kind of hinted on it earlier, though. Like, that's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to Riot's venture into fighting games.
Fighting games, yeah.
It's going to do so much for the FGC, I think. But back to MLG Dallas 2010. Let's take our little time machine back a decade again. G-Ness and his level up at the event. Like, Santi, the way he put it was, quote unquote, that G-Ness was in God mode. Like, he just leveled up, he ascended, and he played out of his mind. Dropped very few games.
I don't think he dropped a game.
You don't think he dropped a game?
No, I can't remember him dropping a game. I know he 3-0'd Ally, he 3-0'd ESAM, he 3-0'd Tyrant. I'm pretty sure he 3-0'd X. No, I know he did. Yeah, I don't think he dropped a game the whole tournament.
So what was it like
it
to
was
see someone from
inspiring.
Texas do that?
Oh man, it was like if I couldn't win, like I was really glad Genius won just because of his personality. He's just such a down to earth kind of dude, and just very happy go lucky. He's like I never see Genius really pissed off. I mean, you would see him salty back then after like a few like some losses, but he's just one of those happy guys. So I was really glad for him that he won. But just actually watching, because we would play at almost every regional we went to. Like obviously we were the top 3, so and I remember like okay, so I probably won. He hadn't taken a set with me. I probably won 20 something sets in a row. And it was right before this we went to a regional. It was the preparation, the MLG Dallas preparation regional. And I don't know what happened, but he came out and he beat me 2 sets for the first time. I actually raged. This is like the only time I raged in Brawl. It was a loser final set, and it was game 5. I was timing him out, so we had a lot of time. He was trying to get in on like a really like perfectly campy Diddy was super hard, and like he was just in another mode too. Like I'm timing this guy out.
Yeah.
So like that was my whole Shrek game 5, and I had it the entire time, and he gets the lead, like a 2% lead with like 2 seconds left.
No.
Oh
dude.
man, and I lost my mind. I was so mad. And then MLG Dallas hit, and then just like watching him. I didn't watch him early, but like when I watched him play Ally, because I had to play the loser of it. So I was ready to play Genius. I was like, I studied the Diddy, like all of our old sets, like that whole night. I was just like prepping for Genius. Because I just figured out Ally was going to be in Ally mode and just be unstoppable. And watching him play Ally, he just decimated, like tore him apart. I was like, what the hell? And that was really bad for me because I hadn't beaten Ally. But just like watching that, I was like, oh my God. And then after I lost to Allies, like I went and watched the rest of Genius' sets, and just watching him tear apart everybody, it was just like, it was awe-inspiring because I had never seen him play like this. It was perfect. It was crazy.
So
and he stayed like that for a good while too. After like there was probably like a 6-month period where he was just like destroying everybody, like all the best players.
You talked about the crowd at Genesis 3 or Genesis 1, excuse me. What was the Texas crowd like at MLG Dallas with GNES going on this insane run?
Oh, everybody was super hyped. Like, I mean, it's loud as you can think of. I mean, it was that loud. Like, everybody was going crazy, and you had obviously everybody like. It was funny because all the other regions kind of got together as like the world versus Texas type thing. But I mean, I just felt like we were drowning them out.
Yeah, it's insane to me to imagine because even at standoff, like Texas got a little bit of flack for the "Let's Go Wormy" chants when it was Wormy versus Fatality, and it was like you could hear it on the YouTube video, like it was insanely loud.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at the comments, people were like, "Oh man, I hope this Wormy kid loses," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, Twitch chat was being like really toxic and stuff. It was,
and it's because it was Fatality too. Like, and I'm like, bro, it's not my fault. Your boys washed. We want Wormy to win. Like, that's all I'm saying, dude. It doesn't make any sense when people get mad at that. Like, obviously, if someone's from your region, we're not gonna root for Fatality, especially when he was like in contestant for like PGR. Like, imagine if like Schroeder was like a bigger player at the time, right? And like some guys in the crowd is like, "Hey, let's go Schroeder." We're all like beating him up. Like against Isman, no, we're beating that guy up. Like you don't. It didn't make any sense to me. No, not make any sense to me.
It's definitely I don't know. I expect it from any region to cheer for the hometown hero.
Yeah, that should be how it is, and that is one of the like drawbacks to how I feel esports affected our community. I feel like we're so soft. Like everybody gets their feelings hurt so fast, but I feel like that's society right now in general. Everybody just gets their feelings hurt by something, and it's stupid, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
something as simple as that.
The reactions to those situations are a little overblown sometimes, or most of the time. Like it just is. But if I could go back and be in the room and see how loud comparatively Texas was rooting for GNES. We hosted Let's Settle This last year. You were there.
Yeah.
You weren't with LSG yet. You were there, and my shitty format caused your pool. Like your pool got, like your pool became the example of why round robin isn't the best competitive format.
Yeah, I got the shit.
There was a 3-way tie. I don't remember who it was. Denty, you,
And
Grayson. But who was the fourth? Was it Elwolf?
Karna.
It was Karna. Karna lost. Was it Karna that lost every single?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Karna lost everyone, and so you all ended up. Was it 2-1?
So what happened was they both 2-0'd Karna, and I beat him 2-1. And so we all we took like I took the set off Denty. Denty took the set off Grayson, and Grayson took the set off me.
Right. And then Austin, who Sync, the organizer, came to me across the room and said, "What do I do?" I definitely remember that part of it.
Yeah.
Because it was mid-tournament, and Austin walks up to me, and he was TOing the event. He's like, "I'm going to let you make this call, man. I don't want to make this decision." And asked me what we should do. And I'm like, go off of game count versus Karna.
Yeah.
It was a tough, horrible decision. But the point was, when Grayson and Razor were playing grand finals of that event, that little coffee shop got so loud. And that's how, that's how events should be.
Yeah, I agree.
It was so hype. And so I when I imagine the hype at the MLG Grand Finals when GNS is up 2-0 versus Tyrant, that's my closest frame of reference. That's how I imagine that was. A bunch of people ridiculous excited to see their boy be a player from Southern California when you guys are already, there's a little bit of pent-up animosity because of the trash talk against SP. Everybody already has a bad taste in their mouth. So I imagine it fueled the crowd even more to get it hyped up for GNS and him taking the win in the fashion he did.
Yeah, we were all going crazy for sure. I mean, pretty sure we crowd surfed him after he won.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was insane.
I wasn't there for Isman versus Stroder, but man, I wish I was because everyone was going bonkers. And then he almost beat Sam Sora at. He got robbed. He got so robbed, dude.
Yeah, that's trash.
Freaking best of 3. Oh, just kidding. It's best of 5. Come on. Oh, anyways, but everyone was right
and then
there.
Grayson gets robbed today. The world's out for Texas.
For real, nobody wants to see us succeed.
Yeah,
but we will.
They underrate us heavily.
Yeah. But everyone was just around Samsora and Isman. It was I couldn't even see the screen, and I'm 6'2", you know. I couldn't. There's just so many people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look over everyone. Oh my god, I love that dude. And when I beat Isman at SFC, I turn around and it wasn't a huge crowd obviously because it's only an SFC, so local. But there was 10, 15 people just standing behind me, and I was like, oh, what the heck? And I don't know, that it amped me up, you know. I love crowds. I love that stuff.
That's the beauty behind competitive anything, you know.
Yeah.
It's that feeling of hype and adrenaline. I mean, that's I think that's why we all do it. It's a thrill, you know.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is. I remember the Grayson chants at Low Tier City. I don't remember who he was playing, but everybody in Dallas, all the HMO boys were in the front row while Grayson was playing on stage, yelling for the.
I think it was RJ.
Was it RJ? It was RJ because I had a side bet on it.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Right.
And RJ won.
Yeah.
No, dude.
That was the only side bet I won that weekend. I lost a lot of money on the. I think it was $20 or $30 that I lost on when Zale lost to 8-Bit Man.
Oh man.
I had $20 on Zale.
Yeah.
20 or 30. I can't remember. I had to PayPal Dragonite because I didn't have enough cash. But the crowds are definitely what makes live events so special. And I feel like I've said this before, probably on the podcast. There are so many good storylines going into these matchups, especially on a regional level, within Texas. There are so many good stories that just are underdeveloped or underexposed to the audience outside of
Yeah.
the audience who's there physically.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely look forward to the day when we as organizers do a better job on that front and actually convey those stories to the people at home that are watching the event, because I feel like the hype is there. It's just not. It's not getting translated well to the video product because of organizers and on-air staff.
That makes sense. I just can't wait to get back out to tournaments in general.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's like this stuff is killing me.
Are you playing any Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I have been just out of necessity. Like, I have to play.
Yeah.
I've been labbing a lot. I've been working on a couple more characters. But yeah, I do Wi-Fi for as long as I can stand it. I'll play for a couple hours, and it's like,
I
okay,
feel
I've had
that.
enough of this for a few days.
I feel that. As soon as I see one lag stutter, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm done for tonight. Get me out of here.
I played on stream for a little over 3 hours last night, and one of the people in my viewer arena was from Canada.
Oh, wow.
There was like at least a half a second delay on everything.
Oh, hell
And
no.
I was playing Young Link versus ZSS. It was awful. I just stood across the stage and threw projectiles because I was like, I can't really do anything else.
Yeah.
But I guess we're going to wrap up the episode. Like I said, if you're here watching, thank you for coming back to the stream after the issues with Facebook. The VOD, I'm going to edit it after this, and we'll get a full VOD up on YouTube that has the entire episode. Obviously, there'll be a little technical issues with that due to the nature of the stream crashing in the middle of a podcast episode. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Dojo, do you have anything you'd like to plug or promote?
You can just follow me at Twitter at DoJesus. I'm looking at getting a stream going here, hopefully within the next month. So be on the lookout for that. And just follow all the Last Stock Gaming social medias. I'm sure Tim's going to plug that. So yeah.
All right, Ahmad.
You can follow me at _streetrat on Twitter, and then at street2_rat on twitch.tv. I have been streaming again recently. Probably gonna stream tomorrow, maybe tonight if I get my work done. And like Dojo said, follow all the LSG media. There's an Instagram, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. And that's it from me.
All right. For me, you can find me at moo_SSB on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. On Twitch, I'm live every single evening at 8 p.m. Central. I try to stream till at least 11 o'clock Central, but that comes and goes. Tomorrow, start of a new series called Moo's Monday Musings, where it'll be similar to the podcast, but slightly less focused. Tomorrow, we're having this guy on, and we're going to talk about Battle Royales. So it's going to be a fun time. Slightly more polished than this episode, but less polished than most podcast episodes. It should be a good time.
Yeah.
Then all the Last Stock Gaming stuff, like everybody said, Last Stock Gaming on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Mixer, ? Every platform under the sun. So hopefully we'll see y'all there and see y'all back next week for an episode I'm calling Nice Backer. I'm going to have Kimona on, and we're going to talk about commentary and their journey through Texas Smash and just Smash commentary in general and all that fun stuff. So thank y'all, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.